The night split open with a scream not human, but mechanical, of fire trucks' sirens slicing through the stillness of Willow Creek Estates. It was just past midnight, and the cul-de-sac, a flawless ring of identical homes, lay unnaturally quiet under a starless sky. The air felt thick, as if the neighborhood were bracing for a storm it couldn't see. Inside House 14B, the Carter family slept, unaware that a faint, bitter smell had been curling through their vents for days. Tonight, that smell would spark a tragedy that would unravel their perfect community. Willow Creek was a suburban dream, a place where order was king. 8 years ago, James and Ellen Carter had fled the city's chaos-blaring horns, shouting neighbors for this manicured haven. In their mid-40s, they craved quiet, and the Homeowners Association, led by the polished Richard Hensley, promised just that. The HOA ruled with an iron grip. Wrong-colored shutters earned a fine. An unmowed lawn brought a warning. Most residents grumbled but obeyed, seduced by the promise of perfection. Harmony through structure, Richard liked to say, though some muttered it was control, not harmony he loved. But structure came with cracks. The HOA's latest obsession was a massive renovation project: new roofs, repaved driveways, and a contentious upgrade to the aging fire alarm system. The old alarms, wired in the 80s, were glitchy, shrieking at random hours, waking entire blocks. Complaints poured in. "My baby can't sleep. Fix it." Richard, ever the problem solver, vowed action. That action, though, would cost more than anyone imagined. A week before the fire, the HOA made a fateful call. The contractors, annoyed by false alarms slowing their work, asked to disable the system in certain blocks overnight. Richard and the board debated in a closed meeting. "It's temporary," he assured them, his voice calm as always. "Back on by morning. No one's at risk." The email to residents was vague, tucked into a newsletter about pool rules. Some alarm sections may be offline during evening maintenance. James Carter skimmed it, distracted by work. Ellen didn't notice it at all, busy with her book club. Their teenage daughter, Mia, 16 and staying for the summer, had mentioned a strange smell upstairs like burnt wires, but her parents chalked it up to construction dust. That night, as Willow Creek lay hushed, a spark flared in the Carters' attic, born from a frayed wire. Normally, smoke detectors would have screamed, waking the block, summoning help. But the HOA's orders had silenced Block 14's alarms. The spark caught insulation, then a beam, and the fire grew, silent and ravenous. The Carter home, built for quiet with thick walls and sealed windows, trapped the smoke inside, a deadly fog creeping through the vents. Ellen woke first, coughing, her eyes burning. An orange glow pulsed under the bedroom door, and the smell burning wood hit her like a slap. "James!" she croaked, shaking him. He jolted upright, his mechanic's brain racing, but the room was already hazy. "Mia!" Ellen screamed, stumbling toward the hall. The heat was a wall, the doorknob scalding. Mia's room was down the corridor, and through the smoke, they heard her panicked cries. "Mom!" James tried the knob, wrapping his hand in a shirt, but the door was stuck, warped by the fire's heat. Downstairs, the front exit glowed red, flames racing through the old wiring, feasting on dry wood. Outside, the neighborhood slept. No alarms rang, no lights flashed. The HOA's VY sound of peace had worked too well. A lone neighbor, roused by the glow through her window, dialed 911, her voice trembling. "Fire on Block 14. Hurry!" But by the time sirens wailed into Willow Creek, House 14B was an inferno, its roof collapsing in a shower of sparks. The fire consumed everything: family photos, Mia's sketchbooks, the toolbox James kept in the garage. The Carters fought to reach each other, but the smoke was merciless, stealing their breath, clouding their senses. They collapsed within arm's reach, hands outstretched toward a freedom they'd never find. Firefighters breached the walls, but it was too late. House 14B was a blackened shell, its secrets burned to ash. By dawn, neighbors gathered, their faces pale in the cold light. Firefighters worked in silence, their boots crunching on debris. The air stank of ash and grief. They got out, right? Someone whispered, clinging to hope. But the paramedics' grim faces told the truth. 3 body bags emerged James, Ellen, me, each one a punch to the community's gut. Shock turned to rage as whispers spread. Why didn't the alarms go off? At a press conference, Fire Chief Laura Kincaid spoke, her voice heavy. The alarm system in Block 14 was disabled overnight, per HOA instructions, to avoid false alarms during renovations. The crowd gasped. A woman shouted, "Who approved that?" All eyes turned to Richard Hensley, the HOA's president. A former accountant, Richard thrived on order-color-coded agendas, typed fine lists. To some, he was diligent. To others, a control freak. Now, he was the face of disaster. Online, fury exploded. A video of Richard at his doorstep went viral, his voice shaky as neighbors yelled. It was temporary, he insisted. We didn't know it'd be off completely. Another clip caught him muttering, "We wanted quiet. Quiet." The word became a curse, plastered across headlines. HOA's quest for quiet kills 3. The HOA's statement were devastated, and cooperating with authorities felt like a slap, its corporate tone enraging residents who'd once trusted the board's efficiency. Sarah Nguyen, a nurse who'd known Ellen, led a rebellion. She and others met at a diner, drafting a petition to oust the board. Sarah couldn't pass the ruins of 14B without tears, picturing Mia's shy grin. Guilt gnawed at the community. They'd all complained about the alarms, 3 a.m. Screeches that rattled nerves. Make it stop, they demanded. The board had listened, and now 3 lives were gone. Richard unraveled privately. Sleep eluded him, his dreams filled with flames. One night, he slipped into the wreckage of 14B, Leah VYing a single rose amid the ashes. A kid's phone caught it, and the video spread, captioned, "Crocodile Tears." Lawsuits hit fast. James's sister, Rachel Carter, sued the HOA and contractor. Detective Maria Alvarez led a police probe, sifting through emails and logs. She found a fire marshal's warning. Disabling alarms is risky. Used temporary detectors. The board's reply? Budget's tight. Damning. The investigation dug deeper. A contractor's log showed Block 14's alarms were off for 9 nights, not a few. Texts between board members were cavalier. "Residents hate the noise," wrote Treasurer Linda Voss. "Shut it down at night." Richard replied, "Contractor says it's fine." Then there was James's email, sent 10 days earlier, about a chemical smell in his attic. The HOA's response: contact a private contractor. A mischance to find a faulty wire. The trial was a spectacle. Prosecutors called it manslaughter by negligence, playing the 911 call panic screams, no alarms. The jury flinched. The defense argued the board was misled, swamped by complaints. Everyone wanted the noise gone, they said. But Tim Brody, a young electrician, testified nervously. His logs pro-VYing the shutdowns were routine. "I warned them," he said. "They told me to do it anyway." Linda Voss took a plea deal, admitting she'd pushed for silence. Richard held out, but eventually pled guilty to lesser charges, sparing himself years in prison. The community split. Some wanted vengeance. Others saw shared blame. The HOA collapsed, replaced by a city-run council promising transparency. House 14B's lot became a memorial garden, a stone etched with James, Ellen, and Mia's names under a young oak. Rachel started a scholarship in Mia's name for aspiring firefighters, speaking at the dedication. An alarm isn't noisy, it's life. Never silence it. Willow Creek changed. Quiet hours vanished. Alarms tested monthly, their wails a reminder. Neighbors dropped polite facades, sharing real fears, real lives. A new family asked about rules, and a resident smiled grimly. We used to chase quiet. Now we chase safety. The lesson was brutal. Perfection is a trap. Life needs noise, the bark of a dog, the cry of a child, the scream of a siren. In Willow Creek, they learned to let the alarms ring, because silence breeds the loudest tragedies. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back? or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.